Hey everyone, welcome to Guardian XOC. This is a quick announcement video that I wanted to put together to, announce my plans on participating in the 2018 HWBot Country Cup.
For any of you who do not know what the HWBot Country Cup is, it's pretty much an online competition that they hold that pits countries against one another, and anyone can contribute submissions for their country. For this year, it started on November 3rd and will be ending on December 31st, so the end of this year. I'm recording this on November 14th, and there are 46 days left in the competition, and as you can see here, Australia is currently in the lead, US following fairly substantially behind. But we're pretty much the two big players. I do hope to contribute a lot to the United States scores. Checking on most of the submissions, most people are on ambient cooling, so if I'm running on dry ice as I plan to, this should put us significantly in the lead. So the HWBot Country Cup has 10 distinct stages. The first one is the HWBot X265 at 4K. The second one is Cinebench R15. Now it does say R15 divided by core, and just looking at it and seeing what other people are doing, I'm not sure if it's talking about single core performance or if it takes the score and divides it by the number of cores to figure out how to grade the scores, which would make sense. This is my first participation in an online overclocking competition, so I'm not sure how it works. My plan is to just run all cores, all threads on the CPU I'm playing to benchmark for that, and just see how high of a score I can get on dry ice. Then of course maximum reference frequency. This one, people are going to be you're going to want to be running older hardware stuff that used reference frequencies of about 200 megahertz, so that would be AM3, AM2 plus, AM2, and also I think socket 775 used a 200 megahertz frontside bus. I haven't actually played around with 775, but that's kind of what I'm thinking it should be. Stage 4 is SuperPi 32 million. This is only AMD CPUs. I'm going to be running a Ryzen 5 1600, so that covers that. So stages 1 through 4 definitely going to be doing for sure. Stage 5, this is GPU Pi for CPU, single core CPUs only. This could take a hell of a long time. I'm not sure if I'm going to do that. That's definitely going to be done on ambient cooling, and that'll probably be a full session to itself if I do that, but I might not do stage 5. Stage 6, 3D Mark 05, dual GPU cards only. I don't have any dual GPU cards, so I don't plan on doing stage 6 at all. Stage 7, we have 3D Mark 2001 Standard Edition, AMD CPU, and single video card. That's going to work out fine for me because I'm going to be running a Ryzen 5 1600 as well as a GTX 1080 for the video card. Then stage 8, we have GPU Pi 32 billion AMD single core GPUs only. That is I'm going to be running HD 7970 for that one. And then stage 9, we have 3D Mark Night Raid integrated graphics processor. I'm not entirely sure what I'll be running for that, but I do plan on running something for that. And then stage 10, we have 3D Mark Time Spy with NVIDIA GPUs only, one per family. Now, depending on how I've edited this video, you'll either have seen the hardware already or you will see it, but pretty much there's going to be some complications with that. So yeah, that's really all there is for this. If you wanted to check out this page yourself and check out all the other specific pages, if you just go to HWBot's website, you just go to competitions, and it's right here at the bottom, or you could go to competition overviews, and from there you can click on the individual ones, see the submissions from different countries.
Okay, so here is the system. Starting off with the motherboard, we have the Asus Prime B350 Plus, and that is correct. B350 motherboard. This is a Ryzen system, and with that, the CPU, we have the Ryzen 5. We don't have a Ryzen 7. The Ryzen 5 1600. I originally bought the CPU. Well, first off, to have a Ryzen platform, but also it was kind of the best value I could find of any of the Ryzen first gen CPUs used, and the whole purpose of getting a hold of this was originally just for testing out video cards and for benchmarking video cards. It's just it's a huge step above all of the other CPUs that I have currently, even though I know it's not the best for 3D benchmarking. Of course, just basic video card for output. This actually does work very well with this motherboard. Surprising how old it is. But yeah, that's cool. Then for RAM, this is where things get a little sketchy. I have a single 4GB stick of DDR4. It's clocked at 2133, although I have been able to overclock it all the way to 3000 megahertz. So it's kind of okay, but you know, I was balling on a budget when I bought this. I might try to get another stick of RAM at some point. And then of course nothing special, 700 watt power supply, old Intel SSD with a Windows 7 install. It was kind of a pain to get a Windows 7 install to work with Ryzen, but I did it. This is going to be kind of the main system. That said, there's another motherboard we have to do because there's a few benchmarks that require AMD single core CPUs, as well as highest reference clock, if I remember correctly. And so we have here the Asus M4A79T Deluxe. Kind of seems like I'm a huge Asus fan at this point, I think. But this is a pretty good motherboard. I got it for like 45 bucks used. It's not the best motherboard for benching AM3 and haven't really done a lot with it. But if any of you know older CPUs, especially older AMD CPUs from this era, they used base clock frequencies of 200 instead of 100. And that works out very nicely for if you're just trying to go for maximum reference frequency. I'm also planning to get a like a Sempron, some single core CPU that I'll be using on this motherboard. If not on this motherboard, on my AM2 Plus motherboard. For the AMD graphics cards, unfortunately, I only have a single GPU card, and this is the most powerful one I have right now. Is the HD7970 Dual X Edition from Sapphire. It's kind of been through a lot on the stock cooler. As you may notice, this fan's a lot smaller because I had to replace it, and for whatever reason, the fan replacements I got were actually smaller than what was advertised. And I've also got, as you can see, some twist ties here that are actually holding the fan shroud onto the cooler. And for 3D benchmarking, well, at least the NVIDIA allowed ones. But yeah, this is a GTX 1080 made by PNY. It's a reference PCB design. I have kind of a special secret for this card, which I just realized an error in what I said. So I was planning to use the GTX 1080 for stage 10. Which is Time Spy, and unfortunately you're only allowed one submission per family, and I'm not entirely sure if that is per country or per person. I'm assuming it's per country though, since that's kind of what the competition is about. And there's someone on there with a 1080 Ti. There's also someone on there with a 780 Ti, and I do have a GTX 770, so unfortunately I can't use that. The next AMD CPU I have, like lower down in performance, is a GTX 570, and that is not going to work for Time Spy. But that's fine. It gives me more time and energy to focus on the other benchmarks and get better scores there. So yeah, that's really all there is for that. My plan is to release all of my overclocking across probably 2 or 3 videos. The first 2 are probably going to be just for CPU benchmarking, since there's actually quite a bit that I'll probably be doing across different platforms. So yeah, probably 2 videos for that, and those will hopefully be coming somewhere near the end of November for the video, and then all of my graphics based benchmarking, 3D benchmarking, hopefully I'll have that video out before the end of December. That's kind of my plan. Of course, I'll have my submissions pretty much up as soon as I do them. I've still got some other submissions to catch up on. But yeah, I will see you then.